Welcome back, everybody, to the Mountain Witch Tarot channel. I am your host, Sarah, and today we are talking about Trump and all the mistakes he keeps making. Before we get started, please take a moment and click the like button, and if you enjoy these types of readings, consider sticking around. I have tons of political divination here, and I upload several times per week. So we are starting right where I left off when I did my pre-video energy reading. And I wanted to start here with these three cards because I think it really sets an important tone. So we have the Sun card, the Lily card, and the Bear card. My intention was, what does Trump have to lose? And this is what I got, and I firmly believe that this is a reference to his reputation and integrity. There are people who believe that he is a man of integrity, and they do see his reputation from a positive perspective. This to me is the beginning of all of that coming apart. We've seen a lot of stuff recently that would indicate that, and so that's what we're kind of digging into today with this reading, and we're gonna build our way up to something. I'll get to that. So everyone is going to be affected by either the big ugly bill or by the deportations. I feel like that's common sense. We don't really need divination to tell us that. Everyone's going to be impacted by one of those two things, and some people will be impacted probably by both. Now, it's easy to think that things are really going Trump's way, but that's not at all the case right now. And if you're on TikTok, you can actually see firsthand how many loyal Trump supporters are turning on him right now. And tons of his supporters are getting deported. Some are even making videos about their families getting deported. Trump is losing his fan base. He's bleeding supporters right now. So the question is, does he know this? And if he does know this, why doesn't he care? To me, the implications of this question are chilling, quite honestly, if you think about it. So that's what we're going to look at today. So here's where we're starting. What does he have to lose? His reputation and integrity. Keep in mind with the caveat that this only applies to the people who think that he has a reputation and integrity, but he's losing it quickly. Okay, now we're going to switch over to tarot. And the first thing we want to know is, based on that, what happens next? There is a sense of bringing back some balance, of things coming together, people seeking enlightenment, finding, a different viewpoint. And they're starting to see that he was not the charitable person that they thought he was. Let's talk about MAGA for a second. How does MAGA specifically react? We have a little bit of a mixture of things here with MAGA specifically, and we're only talking about, the really hardcore Trump fans. They see this situation as Donald Trump has a plan, and they're going to trust him with it, but there is a lot of uncertainty. They know that they are going to suffer. These people are not unaware of what's going on. They're just being intentionally obstinate about admitting it because they don't want to admit defeat. So they know, they understand the implications, and they're willing to stick by him for now. The next question, I guess, would be, will they start to unravel the really diehard MAGA people? Will they start to unravel at some point? Because once something affects them specifically and personally in their personal life, it's going to inevitably break the delusion. The wall of cognitive dissonance is going to come down, and they're going to start to see things a little differently. It's inevitable. It's human nature. The Emperor comes out a lot for Donald Trump. I think there's a split here. It could be that there's a split. It could be that there is a little more to this that we might have to investigate. But with the Emperor energy in the center, we're kind of seeing that they will continue to hold him to, up on a pedestal. They're going to keep him on this pedestal for as long as they need to. Sorry about that, guys. My cockatoo started screaming because, of course, he did. Now, where were we? Okay, with the emperor, they're going to hold Donald Trump up on a pedestal for as long as they possibly can, because on one side, they only have this empathy and emotion and, kind of the way that they view the Democrats. Because I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of MAGA Republicans are terrified of empathy. And I know that they've said that a lot, but I've actually witnessed it in my personal life. It scares them to death. So, they're trying to find this balance where they don't want to concede to the left that the left was right. So they may be willing to compromise, keep Donald Trump on his pedestal, and, essentially make a deal with the devil. I'm just kind of hoping that MAGA completely falls apart. And personally, I think in order for that to happen, they've got to have another tree limb to jump to. You know what I mean? So it could come in the form of something with Elon's troll party, because you guys know he's just doing that to be a troll. Everything Elon Musk does, he does it to be a troll. Just keep that in mind when he's on Twitter running his mouth about starting a third political party. He's trolling. You can't take that man seriously. He is so obnoxious. So obnoxious. So, let's see. Any chance that MAGA will fall apart? That's what I'd like to go to next before we get into the really big, heavy stuff. So I guess the question would be, will Donald Trump's actions, what the choices he's making right now, lead to a severe impact on MAGA crumbling? I think this is definitely a good indicator that MAGA will take a pretty big hit. I'm going to scoot these up a little bit. So, with the card in the middle where we see kind of something being put to bed, something laid to rest, I think it is inevitable that MAGA will eventually dissolve. And it looks like it's closer than ever. I think we are definitely moving through the end phases of MAGA. Unfortunately, I personally believe there will be something that replaces it. So, really, is it gone? Political movements and things like this come and go. I've seen quite a few come and go throughout my lifetime. So, who knows? But as far as MAGA specifically, I do think we are witnessing the end of it. Now, the Page of Pentacles here, the one thing that comes to mind first with this card, and we may possibly get a little clarification on this, the thing that comes to mind for me, though, is financial backing, not having the finances right now. So maybe there is a clue here that when something does come about to replace MAGA, then that's when we'll see the final, like a coup de grace or whatever. But political movements and parties take money, so someone's got to invest somewhere, and then it's got to kind of work its way down through society. Let's get like a card or two more for the Page of Pentacles, because I feel like, I don't know if maybe where my bird's screaming and distracting me, maybe I picked the wrong card because I like to pick them intuitively. So let me just clarify. Is there clarification for the Page of Pentacles here? So this tends to be my Democrat card, but I think in this situation, it's not coming through so much as the Democrats or anything to do with the Democrats, but it is coming through as another political party, which is kind of what I've already said. And with the Page of Cups, we have this guy looking for his muse, holding his muse in a cup, holding an idea, kind of in the beginning stages of trying to figure out where to go with this idea. There could already be something on the horizon when it comes to what will distract MAGA and kind of move them into another phase of political, movement, or whatever you want to call it, political disaster theater. Lots of things we could call it, but you guys know what I mean. So let me clear the board here, put these cards back, and we're going to get into the really heavy stuff. We know that from past experiences that a lot of times when the Republicans do something heinous, or when Donald Trump specifically does something heinous, the Democrats usually take the blame for it. And for some reason, they're not real good about being loud enough to fight back. And they won't fight fire with fire. They continuously just kind of trust that their base will know the difference. We're going to put those back. It's not time for you yet. They always just assume, like, well, our base knows that this is not true, so we're not going to waste our time arguing. I think they should be arguing. I think that they should be fighting fire with fire at this point. I think the gloves should come off, but that's just me. I think, you know, obviously you can't just assume people will know the truth if you don't tell them explicitly. So I want to know if the Democrats are going to take the blame for the repercussions of the big beautiful bill specifically. I hate to even call it that, the big ugly bill. You guys know what I'm talking about. Are they going to get blamed for it? Because remember, that bill doesn't take effect until right around the midterms or after. So there's a good chance that if the Democrats win in the midterms and kind of rebalance the House and the Senate, they're going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when those laws start going through the system and going into effect. Time to make a choice. Waited long enough, you got to make a choice. I believe those are her two choices, this card and this card. Obviously, we have this sense of greed, and I, can't help, my mind goes right to Trump, right to the religious stuff that's going on in government right now, the Heritage Foundation, all of that. I think the Democrats have a choice, a clear choice to make when it comes to this. And, this could be possibly them holding on to the financial aspect of their job, because we know a lot of Democrats are corporate Democrats, unfortunately, and a lot of them will do what they have to do for their own well-being, and that's the unfortunate truth. I mean, that's politics, I suppose. It shouldn't be, but it is. And then the emperor, so that it's kind of like, who do we choose between? It's almost like they're in between a rock and a hard place. You know what I mean? Let's get a couple more cards on each side of that. I feel like it's incomplete. I feel like there's more to it. Heavy on the financial aspect, so definitely choosing here choices between finances, financial backing. Could be the fear of being primaried, and then we have, obviously the emperor and like cohesive partnerships, maybe even unlikely partnerships here, and working with others that maybe you're not on the same page with, but you kind of don't have a choice as far as cooperating goes. So that's pretty interesting. The next thing I want to know, though, now that we're kind of talking about midterms and things like that, is what happens if Donald Trump does lose too much support? Because like we were talking about earlier, he's going to lose a lot. He's already lost a lot. So what happens, and what does it look like during midterm season from April to November if he's lost a ton of support? The sun and the moon and the Six of Pentacles. So obviously coming through here with the charity and, the way that you treat other people and this night and day difference. I think based on this implies a major attitude shift, major change in, like, we may see him go from this horrible, aggressive, cold-hearted, whatever, to suddenly trying to portray himself differently in the eye of the public. He may start trying to do like little things that make him a sympathetic character, things that will make him seem genuine and charitable and caring. And that's really interesting. I would not have expected that. It kind of makes my next question null and void because I suspected a different answer for this. So my next question was, since he's angering and disenfranchising his own base, and his base are the aggressive ones, I was going to ask, is there any chance of like another J6 situation or response? I guess we can go ahead and try to ask that, but this question and answer here kind of threw me off. So I guess we'll ask it anyway. Any chance of a J6 style response from his base once they start losing Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP benefits? I'm going to be honest, I just got the wildest thought looking at these three cards, and this is completely unfounded because I haven't read anything about this. I haven't heard any whisperings about this, but I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here. I feel like these three cards indicate that Trump, around the time of the midterms, when he knows that things like the big ugly bill and the deportations are really going to negatively impact him, he's going to promise something financial, almost like a replacement. So anything that the public knows by that point in regard to what they're losing, like food stamps, Medicaid, Medicare, he's going to tell them that there's something else that he's created, something that they've been working really hard on that's going to be so much better. It's going to be bigly, you know what I mean? I'm doing the accordion right now. You can't see me, but he's going to basically salve their wounds and hold them over with a really big lie. It's going to be a big promise of financial prosperity and gain for them, but it's not going to be true at all. There's no truth to it. And I think that's how he's going to kind of get out of being tethered to these mistakes he's making right now, is with another big lie that appeases them, satisfies them, and gets them out to vote for him. All right, let's clear the board and we'll get into some more questions. We kind of want to see now, what is midterm season going to look like? We want some clues as to, there's that card again. We want some clues as to what the political climate will be around midterm season next year. Look at these cards jumping out. This is crazy. They've got a lot to say, apparently. Big energy of what I was just talking about, of creating a story to appease these people and telling them something that he knows they want to hear, basically just manipulating them. And I'm definitely getting that from the Ace of Wands here. I think the whole midterm season is going to be peppered with a lot of like emotional stories, a lot of talk about the past. He's probably going to be bringing up a lot of things that, so-and-so did this and so-and-so did that, maybe in reference to other presidents or other political figures. Lots of promise of wealth, kind of heavy on that type of energy. And, he's the one who's able to bring this to you. He's the only one who can give you this because he cares so much. And it's going to be just a big, how do I phrase this? He's manipulating, of course, all these moving parts. And it's all just part of the plan. Like, he may even have this strategy already laid out. Like, that's how elaborate this is going to be. He's really going to lay it on thick, guys. It's going to be absolutely just revolting how he butters these people up. So now the difference is that this time around, he doesn't have Elon. So he doesn't have the benefit of you-know-what manipulation. And he has notoriously stated in the past, right around the election, the general election, that he was going to fix it so good you won't ever have to vote again. You guys remember that, right? So I'm curious if Trump has an alternative plan for the midterms and if that involves any type of interference. So let's get some cards for that. So here he is pulling off a magic trick, orchestrating things. Hard work, labor, putting in the work on it. He's, wow. King of Wands. Very much looks like he has an alternative plan. Let me scoot these up a little bit. Between the glare and the angle. All right, so, wow. This is... Gosh, where do I even start? There's a lot here. So the magician obviously is, in regard to our question, is telling us that this is someone who is pulling strings, controlling things, making things happen the way that he wants them to. He's kind of got his hand in every pot, stirring the pots as well on top of that. Here we have, with the Knight of Pentacles, work, putting in work. They are working towards this. They are not going to let this go. They've got a backup plan for sure. The Page of Pentacles, once again, coming out here. I don't know. We may need to get clarification on that because it's not coming through very clearly why the Page of Pentacles is there. I have a feeling, but I don't know. It kind of doesn't go along with the rest of the cards. It's a little bit of a conflicting piece of information. Now down here with the King of Wands, this is force. This is brute force. This is, by any means necessary. And we have homecoming, basically, where you get to a point where you're basically in a place where nothing can touch you. You are safe. You are out of bounds as far as any outside attacks. And with the Hermit, big feeling of like in the dark, people know, but they're in the dark. Let's get some clarification on the Page of Pentacles and the Hermit here, because this is kind of I feel like this is one of those answers where if we don't know exactly what it is going on with his administration, like if the news hasn't come out, if there's not been any clues, then it's going to be very hard to interpret because it's saying something very specific. So let's get 3 more cards. Back at it again with the 4 of Pentacles, the greed, the tug of war, the Empress. I think there is a pretty solid message here of fighting to hang on. I think that they are struggling quite a bit, and they've got this plan that they're trying to see through, but they are having problems. And I think, just based on other readings, I think there's a lot kind of going on with his administration. I personally look for a lot of people in his administration to start dropping pretty soon. He's going to start replacing people probably. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. It's almost like as they make progress, they make a little bit of a, maybe some leaps and bounds and a few steps ahead. It's almost like they're 2 steps forward and 3 steps back. Makes me wonder, will there be like overt interference with the midterms? And I'm thinking specifically executive orders, because that's something that if he waits till the last minute to throw a bunch of executive orders out that will affect voting, then there'll be no time to challenge it before the elections. And so he could really throw a big wrench into those cogs that I was kind of seeing earlier. I think he's definitely going to try to block some, maybe something like mail-in voting. That's my yes card. Oh, again? This is twice. Guys, this is twice in the same video reading. He's going to interfere with the midterms. I think executive orders are exactly what he's going to try to pull. I think that is maybe his plan C. And with the sun and moon here, it's interesting. Like, I'm not sure what it's trying to say, but this is very important. In between the sun and moon, I mean, I know what the obvious meaning here is, but I feel like there's something. Let's get a card for the left and the right, because I feel like that is such big energy, but maybe there's something I don't know about politically speaking, so I can't really interpret here. Oh my gosh, I know what it is. Okay, so by the light of day, he has these promises that he's been making. This is going to sound so obvious. You guys are going to be like, duh, Sarah. I know, but it's literally right here. It's literally what the cards are showing. By the light of day, he's going to be making these promises of, well, this might look scary, but actually here's the benefit of it. And anyway, don't you guys worry, because I've got you. I've got a plan. I have created something else to kind of help you along the way. So when you lose your Medicaid, you lose your Medicare, I'm going to swoop in with this new thing and everything's going to be fine. And then over here on this side, this is him being heralded in the public as great, wonderful, caring, successful. He's going to get all of his accolades here. But obviously he's not going to deserve them. And obviously this is all lies. So, so the midterms, this is all going to come down to a big manipulation strategy. So be prepared. He's going to spend a lot of time talking to the public, telling a lot of really fantastic stories to try to keep them appeased. And again, that's all the cards are really revealing here to me. So I guess it's very important. And I think this would probably be a really good time for the Democrats to jump in and start fighting fire with fire. Like I said at the beginning of this video, now is the time to start calling this stuff out with evidence. Stop taking the high road and start calling it out. Because this is his strategy of how to win. I definitely see some executive orders, because like as soon as I saw this, the first word in my mind was blocked. He's going to block voting routes. Most likely the easiest target, of course, is mail-in ballots. He will prevent people from physically voting, but realistically, his main strategy is manipulation of the verbal persuasion. So, wow. Whew, I need a break after that. Okay, one more question, and then we'll wrap it up for this video. Why is Donald Trump not afraid of disenfranchising his base? Admittedly, when I wrote out my questions so that I could stay on topic and not ramble, I did not expect the cards to go the way that they have gone in this reading. So this is going to seem a little left field, but I suspected we would get like a more negative reading. Well, I mean, not to say that this is not negative, but I thought it would be different. Why is he not afraid of disenfranchising his base? Oh, there's that card again too. So we have... Holy cow. We got the Seven of Swords, the Death card, and the Temperance card. Oh boy. He doesn't need them anymore. He doesn't need them. He's got, yeah, this is kind of hearkening back to the plan, the strategy above, not the B plan or C plan, but the basically like manipulation, like EOs or something like that. Just theft coming through here for this one. Normally I don't even read that card as theft, but this is just snatching something right out from underneath somebody's nose, and then, you know, and then with the death card and the temperance card, it's an energy of he just doesn't need them anymore. It's going to be interesting. Election season next year with the midterms, it's going to be a wild, wild time. He is going to pull out all the stops. So, you know, just be prepared because it's going to be kind of crazy. All right, y'all, that's it for this video. I will be back very soon with another one. We got some crazy stuff to talk about. We may revisit Alligator Alcatraz. If you guys haven't seen the Alligator Alcatraz video I did, please go check it out. I have tons of videos if you're new here. Feel free to browse through my political playlists and, you know, check those videos out. Be sure to hit the like button, and if you like this type of content, feel free to stick around, hit the subscribe. I do have some links in my description. If you want to check those out, I would appreciate it. Help support the channel. Check out my Substack, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys for watching, and welcome to all my new subscribers. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate you. I'm trying to get through everybody's comments. There's a lot, so thank you all for leaving me, you know, tons and tons of comments. I really enjoy reading those, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, you all have a great week, and I will see you later.